people realized how real it was for me. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about, you know, trying to be a superstar. I was just gonna do this in the basement with my buddies. It was about the music. I wanted to be country. I wanted to play country music.
Darius Rucker's rise to fame began in the 90s as the lead singer of the band Hootie and the Blowfish. That band's most successful album, the multi-platinum Cracked Rear View, is the 16th all-time best-selling album in the United States. By the end of the 90s, Hootie and the Blowfish had sold millions of albums and won 2 Grammys, one for Best New Artist, the other for the band's mega hit, Let Her Cry.
First of all, what about this name, Hootie and the Blowfish?
Oh, I was in a show choir in college called Carolina Live. I went to South Carolina, and we had a group called Carolina Live, and I used to give people nicknames all the time. And there was one guy who had big eyes and wore glasses and looked like an owl, and I started calling him Hootie. And his best friend had these huge cheeks on him, and one night I called him the Blowfish, and the whole group started calling him Blowfish. And we were at a party one night, and they walked in, and I said, I'll never forget this night. I said, look, Hootie and the Blowfish. And in the back of my mind, I'd lied to myself and said, what a great name for a band. And we started the band like a week later, and I said to Mark that we're gonna name the band Hootie and the Blowfish, and he said, whatever. And you know, I try not to have any regrets in life, you know, and I never thought that people would call me Hootie from naming the band that, but you know, that came out of that. But the thing about that name is whether you like it or not, you just never forget it. It was one of those names that once you heard it, you always remembered it. And so I think it helped us a lot more than it hurt us.
One of the reputations that the band, Hootie and the Blowfish, had was they play rock and roll, but it's not angry rock and roll.
Yeah, that was, and for us, when we were starting to break out, that was tough for us because grunge was so big and grunge was so full of anger and despair. And even when we got our record deal with Atlantic, one of the big guys at Atlantic went to the president and told him he couldn't put Cracked Review out. Said, if you put this record out, we'll be the laughingstock of music.
I mean, that was really happy.
Yeah, because it was happy. It was just, it wasn't grunge, and grunge was everywhere. Grunge was king.
What did you think about going that direction under the, what used to be called, man wants a green suit, turn on the green light, if grunge is in, you're gonna do grunge?
Nah, we knew we were gonna be true to ourselves. We were already writing the songs we wanted to play and doing what we were gonna do, and we never once thought about going grunge. There was enough grunge bands in the Carolinas trying to do that. We were just, and we had already staked our niche. You know, we were playing for 9 years before we got a record deal. And so we already had our following, and the things we thought about changing the name and thought if we did that, we'll be starting all over. You know, never thought about changing the music because it was who we were.